안녕하세요. 엔잡러입니다. 차량 분해와 컨설턴트 전문업체 먼로앤어소시에츠의 사장인 코리스튜벤은 지난 2월 테슬라 관련 뉴스들을 전해주는 유튜브 채널 Writer with Herbert'에 출연해 1시간가량의 인터뷰를 진행했는데요. 인터뷰 전반부 핵심 내용은 위의 영상에서 다뤘고 오늘은 인터뷰 후반부의 내용에 대해 자세히 살펴보겠습니다. 먼저 인터뷰 진행자인 허버트는 테슬라는 모든 것을 차량의 소프트웨어에 합치는 일들을 하고 있고 이것들은 모두 무선 업데이트를 통해서 이루어지고 있다. 그리고 테슬라는 이것이 자사의 강점이라고 주장하는데 사람들은 이에 그냥 아이패드를 붙인 것뿐 아니냐라고 말한다. 이러한 반응에 대해 어떻게 생각하냐라고 물었고 코리는 다음과 같이 대답합니다.
So this isn't my deep area of expertise, but we did recently talk to an expert. His name is Thomas Mueller. He works for a company called Wipro. And man, he talked for 45 minutes to Sandy and I about the advantage that Tesla has and what other OEMs are trying to emulate. And essentially, they create a software-first vehicle, like you just mentioned, that has that updatability and a hardware that doesn't lock in the features. So the way traditional OEMs have created vehicles is if you have a liftgate that has a programmable height. So if you've ever had an SUV, you can program it to stop at certain heights. It can sense if somebody's there. All those features and functions were programmed into a box, a controller, onto that hardware, not changeable whatsoever, and sold by the supplier that sells that liftgate and that system. And they were highly motivated by making money selling that module and that feature and that service. But once you put that feature and that service in the car, then that has to talk to the rest of the modules and the rest of the operating system of the vehicle. But you were not able to go in and rewrite the functionality of that supplier's features and functions. Tesla's approach is different. They essentially have nothing that's locked. From meaning its capabilities are locked into the hardware. They're through software able to refine the function of the vehicle. And they've even addressed several of their warranty issues. I think you used to be able to play music on the speaker outside. Well, that was deemed to be a violation of some sort of NISTA law. So they addressed it through an update. So they even had features and functions that they didn't realize were problems. And they fixed it. They had a braking issue. I remember there was some sort of braking issue back in 2018 or 19. They changed the programming of the vehicle and they were able to fix that. Traditional OEMs, many people say, oh, they have a 100-year advantage. That is where they were disadvantaged. I used to drive a 2009 Yukon. And when you got in, I bought it in 2013 and I drove it for 7 years. And when you got in that thing, last year, and you looked at the screen, you would have thought you were playing Atari in 1980. I mean, right. The resolution was like 360p. The backup camera, all I could tell is if there was maybe something there. And imagine if that was a Tesla sold in 2009. I would have had the opportunity to continually upgrade that.
이에 덧붙여 허버트는 테슬라의 영업이익률에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지 코리의 의견을 물어보았는데요. 코리는 테슬라는 영업이익을 여러 가지 분야에서 확보하고 있으며 영업이익을 따질 때 한 가지 사람들이 크게 간과하고 있는 부분은 테슬라가 매년 확보하는 FSD 빅데이터의 가치이다 라고 말합니다.
A business is more than just one of its entities. So I think they have Tesla Solar, they have the robot, what's the robot called?
What's the bot? Optimus?
They have Optimus, Tesla Solar, they have the battery backups, there's the mega packs, the charging infrastructure. But one thing I think that's oftentimes misvalued is the value of the data collected through the millions and millions of miles driven on FSD, whether that's FSD beta or just collected. Many OEMs are essentially a half a decade or a decade behind in their understanding of what it takes for a vehicle to drive on a road with a set of cameras, ultrasonic sensors, radar sensors, no LiDAR for Tesla, but And I think the value of that data may become even more valuable when autonomous driving becomes more prevalent.
여기에 허버트는 테슬라가 발표한 젠3 플랫폼에 대해 어떻게 생각하는지 물어보았는데요. 이에 대한 코리의 답변은 다음과 같았습니다.
So I want to talk about the US market and the Gen 3 platform.
Yeah.
So I do calls on a weekly basis, sometimes a bi-weekly basis, with a couple of financial institutions. And one of the most common questions I get is, why isn't Tesla attacking the highest volume market in the United States? If there was a Tesla SUV, 2-row and 3-row, right now that was being made at mass volume, even at not as good of a range, because when you make an SUV, it's more of a brick, you're gonna need a bigger battery, just like a Cybertruck, you know, they would be killing. So if I were a traditional OEM, and like GM or VW, where I have a Q4, an ID4, if I have a Blazer, an Equinox coming out soon, you better hope that that Gen 3 platform doesn't have two beautifully designed gigacasting 4680 efficient powertrain Teslas falling right behind. Because I think the only thing holding Tesla back is the fact that they're not in the two most prevalent markets, the three. So large truck, large SUV, medium, small SUV, game over.
이러한 충격적인 답변과 더불어 코리는 25,000불 전기차 생산 가능성에 대해 자신의 생각을 밝혔는데요. 그는 일단 25,000불이라는 금액은 인플레이션율을 생각해보면 말이 안 되게 저렴한 금액이라고 말합니다. 코리는 91년도에 자신이 샀던 닛산 맥시마의 신차 가격이 17,500불이었다고 말하며, 이는 인플레이션율을 적용해보면 현재 가격으로 37,000불 정도는 될 것이다 라고 말합니다. 심지어 이 차는 에어백, 아날로그 브레이크, 좋은 품질의 강철, 5등급 안전 테스트와 같은 것들이 하나도 포함 안 된 차량이라고 설명하며 현재 25,000불이라는 가격이 얼마나 말도 안 되게 저렴한 금액인지를 강조했습니다. 그리고 만약 이 가격에 테슬라 전기차가 출시된다면 그것은 엄청날 것이라고 말하며 그 이유를 다음과 같이 설명합니다.
If Tesla offers the world a $25,000 EV, it's going to have to be small. It'll only have one motor. It'll have a small battery. It'll have to be relatively light. If it has hardware 4.0, that's like a free gift, you know, because just because it's an EV doesn't mean it has to come with all that sensor suite, but it probably will, because Tesla will sell every vehicle with the hardware capabilities to be autonomous. They won't sell it without. That makes it even more amazing, because if you look at some of the cheaper OEMs out there, EVs, they don't, like the Bolt, can you put it in autopilot? No.
코리의 말처럼 25,000불 전기차는 가격적으로 말도 안 되게 싼 금액이지만 기존의 모든 기능을 가진 저가 차량의 대량 생산을 테슬라에서 성공적으로 수행한다면 앞으로 전기차 시장에서 테슬라의 압도적 우위는 한동안 지속될 것으로 예상됩니다. 오늘은 차량 분해 전문가의 시선으로 바라본 테슬라의 진짜 장점들을 자세히 살펴보았는데요. 단기적인 테슬라의 영업이익률이 어떻게 요동칠지는 모르겠지만 테슬라의 진짜 기업 가치는 대중의 예상보다 높아 보입니다. 앞으로도 들어두면 더욱 유익한 지식들로 찾아뵙겠습니다. 항상 감사드리고요. 영상이 좋았다면 구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.